Growing up, I always thought love was earned. That if I worked hard, helped around the house, got good grades, and did everything right, my parents would appreciate me. I was wrong. Because no matter how much I did, no matter how hard I worked, there was always one person who mattered more. My brother. He could sit around all day, contribute nothing, and still be treated like a golden child. And when I finally called my parents out on it, their excuse was so insulting I couldn't believe it. The golden child versus the workhorse. It started when we were kids. Whenever something needed to be done, I was the one expected to do it. Cleaning our shared room? My job. Helping with groceries? My job. Taking out the trash? My job. And if I ever complained? You're the older one. You should know better. I could never understand how being born first meant I was somehow responsible for everything. But my brother? He was treated like royalty. If he made a mess, I had to clean it. If he got in trouble at school, I got the disappointed talk too. If I wanted to go out with friends, I had to make sure everything at home was done first. My brother? He just did whatever he wanted. At first, I told myself, it's just because I'm older. Maybe things will get better as we grow up. But they didn't. They got worse. By the time I turned 16, the favoritism wasn't just obvious. It was unbearable. I had to get a job. My parents told me it was time I learned responsibility. My brother? He didn't. I had to help pay for things around the house. My brother? Got an allowance for doing nothing. I had a strict curfew. My brother? Stayed out as late as he wanted. I worked nights at a fast food place, dragging myself home exhausted, only to see him sitting on the couch playing video games without a care in the world. It wasn't just the difference in treatment, it was the lack of appreciation. My parents never thanked me for working, for helping, for sacrificing my free time. But my brother? He got praised for the bare minimum. Got a B on a test? We're so proud of you. Took the trash out once? Wow. What a great son we have. Meanwhile, I was pulling A's, covering shifts at work, and keeping the house from falling apart, and I got nothing. And the worst part? My brother knew. And he loved it. It was a Saturday morning and I had just finished an overnight shift. I walked into the house, barely able to keep my eyes open, only to find the kitchen trashed. Dishes piled in the sink. Trash overflowing. Spilled juice on the counter. I took a deep breath and turned to the one person who had been home all night. My brother. He was lounging on the couch, scrolling through his phone. I clenched my jaw. Hey, can you clean up a little? He didn't even look up. That's your job. I blinked. Excuse me? He finally glanced at me, smirking. You're the responsible one, right? That's what Mom and Dad say. I felt something inside me snap. So what? You just get to do nothing? He shrugged. I didn't ask to be born. I saw red. I turned on my heel and stormed straight into my parents' room. They were about to hear everything I'd been holding back for years. My mom blinked up at me, rubbing her eyes. What's wrong with you? I didn't even try to calm my voice. I'm done. My dad sat up, frowning. Done with what? I took a deep breath, my hands shaking with frustration. Done working my ass off while my brother does nothing. Done paying bills while he sits around. Done being treated like a second-class citizen in this house while he gets praised for breathing. They exchanged a glance. Then my dad sighed, rubbing his face like I was the one being unreasonable. You know we love you both, my mom started, her voice condescending. I let out a humorless laugh. Do you? Because it sure as hell doesn't feel like it. My dad shook his head. We don't treat him better, you're just imagining things. I scoffed. Really? Then explain why I have to work and he doesn't. Explain why I pay bills and he gets an allowance. Explain why I have responsibilities and he gets to act like a guest in his own house. Silence. Then my mom let out a deep sigh and gave me the most insulting excuse I've ever heard in my life. Well, he's just not like you. I blinked. What does that even mean? She smiled like she had just said something wise. You're just more capable. You're stronger. You're the responsible one. He's not built like that. Not built like that. Like he was some delicate little creature who couldn't handle real life. Like I was born to be their free labor. Like it was my responsibility to pick up his slack forever. I let out a sharp breath, my heart pounding. So let me get this straight. I get punished for being responsible and he gets rewarded for being useless. My dad rolled his eyes. No one's punishing you. Oh really? Then let's make things fair. Either he starts pulling his weight or I stop. The moment those words left my mouth, my parents' entire demeanor changed. They weren't disappointed. They weren't sorry. They were angry. And the next words out of my dad's mouth? They changed everything. The second I said, Either he starts pulling his weight or I stop. The room went dead silent. For a brief moment I thought maybe, just maybe, my parents would actually hear me. That they'd realize how unfair things had been. That they'd finally treat me like their child and not their free labor. But what my dad said next, it proved exactly where I stood in this family. My dad scoffed, shaking his head. "You sound ridiculous." I clenched my jaw. Ridiculous? I've been working, paying bills, cleaning up after everyone, and it's ridiculous to expect my brother to do the same? My mom rolled her eyes. "It's not that serious." I let out a bitter laugh. "Oh, it's not? Then why am I always exhausted? Why do I have to work my ass off while he sits around?" My dad sighed like he was already done with the conversation. "Because that's just how it is. You're the responsible one." "He's not." There was again. That same excuse. I was the responsible one. Which meant I had to suffer for it. I shook my head. "No. That's not how it is. That's how you made it. And I'm telling you right now, I'm done." My mom gasped. "Excuse me?" I said I'm done. I'm not your maid. I'm not your backup parent. I'm not your free labor. If my brother doesn't have to do anything, then neither do I. My dad's expression darkened. "You should be grateful." I felt something inside me snap. "Grateful?" I repeated, my voice rising. "For what? Being treated like an afterthought? Working myself to the bone while my brother gets handed everything? What exactly am I supposed to be grateful for?" My mom scoffed. "For everything we've given you. A home, food, clothes. Do you think that just comes for free?" I stared at her, feeling my stomach twist. She wasn't saying this to my brother. She was saying it to me. Like I somehow owed them for raising me. Like basic parental responsibilities were something I should be grateful for. Like I was just some investment they expected a return on. I swallowed hard. "So that's what this is, huh? You never actually saw me as your kid. You saw me as a worker. Someone to handle the things you didn't want to deal with. Someone to make your lives easier." My dad's nostrils flared. "Watch your mouth." But I wasn't stopping now. "You made me responsible for everything while he gets to sit around and do nothing. And now, when I finally say I'm done, you act like I'm the ungrateful one." My mom crossed her arms. "We're just asking you to do your part." I let out another bitter laugh. "My part? I've been doing everyone's part. Meanwhile, my brother does nothing, and you praise him like he's God's gift to this family." They didn't like that. My mom sighed, rubbing her temples. "We don't have favorites." I raised an eyebrow. "Oh really? Then explain why I have to do everything while he gets to be treated like a prince." My dad waved a dismissive hand. "You're just jealous of him." I blinked. "Jealous?" "Yeah," my mom chimed in. "You've always been competitive. You can't stand that we love him just as much as we love you." I let out an actual laugh. "This isn't about love. It's about respect. And you've never given me any." My dad shook his head. "This conversation is over." I clenched my jaw. "No, it's not. Because I meant what I said. I'm done. I'm not paying bills. I'm not cleaning up after him. I'm not covering for him anymore. Either he starts doing his part or I stop doing mine." My mom gasped like I had just threatened to burn the house down. "You can't do that." I shrugged. "Watch me." My dad's face turned red. "As long as you live under our roof, you'll follow our rules." I exhaled, feeling the weight of the moment settle over me. And then I made my choice. "Then I won't live under your roof anymore." The second I said it, my mom froze. My dad's face twitched. "Don't be ridiculous." "I'm not." I turned and walked out of the room. I could hear my mom muttering something under her breath, trying to figure out if I was bluffing. But I wasn't. I walked into my room, grabbed a duffel bag and started packing. Not just for the night. Not just to cool off. I was leaving. And when my parents realized that, they lost their minds. I threw the first few things into my duffel bag with shaking hands. Not from fear. Not from sadness. From pure adrenaline. This was it. I was finally leaving. And I knew my parents wouldn't let me go without a fight. I was barely 10 minutes into packing when I heard heavy footsteps storming toward my room. My door slammed open. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" my dad demanded. I didn't even look up. "Packing." My mom appeared behind him, her face pale with shock. "You're overreacting. Just calm down." I let out a bitter laugh. "Calm down? You just told me my entire life's purpose is to serve this family, and now you want me to calm down." My dad crossed his arms. "You're not leaving." I zipped up my bag. "Yes, I am." "And where exactly do you think you're going?" My mom scoffed. "You have no money. No plan. You wouldn't last a week on your own. There it was. The real reason they had never let me have a life of my own. It wasn't about love. It wasn't about family. It was about control. They had never wanted me to be independent. They had never encouraged me to save up, to build a future outside of this house. Because if I did, they'd lose their free labor. I grabbed my duffel bag and turned toward the door. Guess we'll find out. I barely made it 2 steps before my mom's voice turned soft. Sweetheart, please. We're just trying to protect you. I stopped, because for a split second it almost sounded real. But I had fallen for that too many times before. I turned slowly. Protect me? Or keep me trapped? She flinched. My dad stepped forward, his voice lowering. Listen, you're making a mistake. If you walk out that door, we're not going to chase after you. We're not going to come save you when things go wrong. I held his stare. Good. I don't want you to. Silence. That's when they realized I wasn't bluffing. And their faces? They weren't hurt. They weren't sad. They were pissed. Because for the first time ever, they had no power over me. My mom's expression hardened. You are so ungrateful. I felt my jaw clench. Ungrateful? For what? Being treated like a maid? Watching my brother get handed everything while I had to work for scraps. She scoffed. We put a roof over your head. We fed you. We raised you. I exhaled slowly, shaking my head. You raised me to be a replacement parent. Not your child. Her face turned red. One day you'll understand how much we've done for you. And when you do, you'll come crawling back. I slung my bag over my shoulder. I wouldn't count on it. I turned to walk out, but my dad's voice stopped me. Fine. But don't expect a single penny from us. If you leave, you're on your own. I laughed. I've been on my own for years. You just didn't notice. And then I walked out the door. And this time, they were the ones left behind. I wasn't stupid. I didn't have a plan, but I had one lifeline, my best friend. I called her before I even left the driveway. Hey, remember when you said I could crash at your place if things ever got bad? Her response? Immediate. I'll be there in 10 minutes. For the first time in my life, someone actually had my back. And as I sat on the curb, waiting for her car to pull up, I realized something. I was scared. I had no savings, no security, no idea what came next. But for the first time ever, I was free. And no matter what happened next, I was never going back. The moment my best friend pulled up, I didn't hesitate. I threw my duffel bag in the back seat, got in, and didn't look back. No dramatic exit. No final words. Because the truth was, I didn't need them to understand anymore. I just needed to be free. But my parents? They weren't about to let me go that easily. I knew leaving wouldn't be easy. I had no savings, no job lined up, and no backup plan. But for the first time, my life was my own. My best friend let me crash on her couch while I figured things out. It wasn't ideal. I slept under a pile of spare blankets in a tiny apartment, surrounded by textbooks and half-eaten takeout, but it was better than being at home. I took every extra shift I could find, cafes, warehouses, even a call center job that sucked the soul out of my body. It was exhausting, terrifying even, but you know what? It was mine. Every dollar I earned? Mine. Every decision I made? Mine. Every step forward? Mine. And for the first time, no one could take that from me. At first, my parents went silent. I thought maybe, just maybe, they had finally given up. But then the calls started coming in. At first, it was my mom. Sweetheart, we miss you. Just come home, okay? Let's put all this behind us. Then my dad. You've made your point. Now stop being stubborn and come back. I ignored them. Then, they sent my brother. Hey, mom and dad are really upset. Just apologize and everything will go back to normal. I laughed out loud when I read that one. Apologize? For what? Leaving? Refusing to be their free labor? I blocked his number. Then the messages turned ugly. You're selfish. You abandoned your family. After everything we did for you, this is how you repay us? I blocked every single number. That's when they started calling my job. I found out when my manager pulled me aside one day. Your mom called. She was crying, saying she was worried about you. I felt sick. They were trying to manipulate my workplace into giving them information. I sighed. If they call again, don't give them anything. That was the last straw. I wasn't just leaving. I was cutting them off completely. I changed my phone number. I moved out of my friend's apartment into my own tiny studio. It wasn't fancy. It wasn't much. But it was mine. And one night, as I sat on my secondhand couch eating instant ramen after a long shift, I realized something. I had spent my whole life waiting for my parents to love me the way they loved my brother. Waiting for them to see me. Waiting for them to treat me like I mattered. But that day was never coming. And the second I stopped needing their approval, I finally won. It's been 2 years since I left. I don't talk to my parents. I don't check in. I don't ask about them. They made it clear my whole life. I was only valuable as long as I was useful. So now, they mean nothing to me. But last week, I got a message from my brother. Hey, so, things at home aren't great. Mom and Dad are struggling. I think they might lose the house. Just thought you should know. I stared at the message for a long time. A year ago it would have made me feel guilty. A year ago I would have cared. But now, it's not my problem. And for the first time ever, I feel truly free.